Hello, I'm Jeff Long with Empowering Life Decisions, and today I have Donald Scott Jr. here with me from Stealth Investigative Agency, who is a private investigator. Welcome, Don.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Don, could you just start out by telling a little bit about your business and some services that you do for it?
Sure. We've been in business for almost 17 years. Again, Stealth Investigative Agency. We're out of Downers Grove, Illinois. Primarily, we work for the insurance industry. That's kind of our bread and butter. We do workers' comp and liability investigations, primarily surveillance. We follow people, we tail them, see what they're up to, see if their activities coincide with their claim, their injury. And that's primarily what we do, but we also provide several different other services as far as we work in the private sector. We do domestic investigations and surveillance as well, primarily for individuals that are going through or are already divorced. Typically, probably most recently, for whatever reasons, the most popular investigation in that realm right now is what we call post-marriage maintenance. And what that is essentially is one spouse is paying the other spouse maintenance. However, they've learned through the grapevine, or however, that the spouse that they're paying maintenance to has a living with them, and that is typically verboten, part of the stipulation of the divorce decree that the spouse receiving maintenance cannot have a live-in. So what we do, we work in conjunction with the attorney, and what we try to establish is some sort of living pattern with the individual that is allegedly living with the spouse receiving maintenance, and that surveillance can last for over a year, developing a pattern, showing that individual not just lives there but is almost like a family member. So that's that's one of the most popular ones right now. We also have the individuals. I just got a call the other day, just a boyfriend and girlfriend. She thinks her boyfriend's cheating on her, and I try to dissuade people from that. I mean, she's been with him for 5-6 years. I always ask them, well, you know him better than I do. If you think that they're stepping out, then they probably are. You really don't need me. But if many of them insist.
I want that proof.
They want proof, and that's why we're here.
And how much would something like that average? I know depending on your time and your cost, but what's the average usually for something like that?
Sure, it varies depending on the domestic files can range anywhere from a couple hours a day to a 10-hour day, whereas the insurance assignments are usually an 8-hour day, and those are more definitive as far as a rate. Those can go anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a day, whereas the domestic, we break it up at an hourly rate, and typically it's $75 an hour plus mileage.
Okay, all right. Now, if a business or an individual is looking for your services, what do they look for? Because like if I wanted to look for a private investigator, where would I begin? What do I need to look for? When you find someone, what's the top, few questions you need to be asking?
First and foremost, make sure that they're licensed in the state that they'll be working. I obviously am licensed. I've been licensed in Illinois for over 20 years now. My agency is licensed as well as I'm a licensed individual private investigator. So make sure they have an up-to-date, valid license. And also, I would also ask that they provide proof of liability insurance.
Okay.
Liability insurance is very important in this line of work. So those are the two main things. The first thing, that's what I would ask. Secondly, how long have they been in business, and what is their line of business? What's their expertise? If you're, let's say this is a domestic issue and you want somebody followed, you want to make sure that they're surveillance experts. They're adept at that. So that's another thing I would want to find out. There's also, obviously, if there's social media, a lot of these domestic files, obviously social media in this day and age is rampant, and I've had so many people come into my office and tell me, well, one of my first questions is, well, how do you suspect this? How do you know? What are your suspicions? And inevitably it is, they found something on social media, Facebook or whatever. So, make sure if it's a situation where you want a computer or a phone looked at, obviously they have to have a good forensic background in computer forensics.
Okay.
Those are a couple of the main ones. Also, again, how many years have you been doing this? How long have you been in business? Your basic questions.
All right. Now you said you were in Illinois. What other states are you licensed in?
I'm also licensed in Indiana and Michigan.
Okay.
I'm originally from Michigan, so I do travel there often and work there. And those 3 states. Most states in the country nowadays require a private investigator to be licensed. There are a few that don't, but obviously Illinois is one of them. And I was licensed in Wisconsin at one point in time, but we don't really do much work up there anymore. So I'm primarily a regional investigator.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else that you feel that our viewers would want to know about any of your services?
Well, as far as other services that we provide, we also provide an audio sweeping device, audio and video. And what that entails is we have a device that will sweep a room, an office, even a vehicle for any hidden video cameras and or GPS units.
Okay.
That is a popular service that we provide. And again, that a lot of domestic files that we have or that we've worked in the past, particularly the females, are concerned that somebody's watching them, their ex-spouse, and they want to make sure that for whatever reason their vehicle isn't tagged with a GPS unit, and we'll find it.
Well, and if you do say search a residence and then their vehicle or something, what sort of how long does it take you during the day, like an hour or 2? And then what would be the price to do a residential sweep and a vehicle sweep for devices?
Again, it's all based on time. If we're doing a large office space, it's going to be a few $100. A vehicle, probably no more than $100.
Okay. Because, some people are going to be like me. They don't know the prices or whatever. And
Sure.
And hopefully most of us don't need. But there are going to be some of us that need your services either now or maybe in the future. So it's good to know.
I always recommend, just like anything else, you call several different private investigators and get an idea what everybody's charging and again what their expertise is and make an educated decision. Just like anything else, there's good attorneys, there's bad attorneys and doctors and
Right.
private investigators as well. And I always tell everybody, everybody wants to have a good doctor and a good attorney. It's not a bad idea to have a good private investigator on your side too, especially if you're in business. We also do background checks. We can do a background search on if somebody's looking to go into business with another individual or business. We can do a thorough background check on that business and individual to find out what their past has been for last 30 years. We have access to certain files that the general public doesn't. So.
Okay, great. That's good to know. Now, if someone wants to contact you, how is the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, the best way I would say is to call us, and the office number is 630-810-8909.
Okay.
And you can also email me at dscott at SIA, that's S as in Sam, IA-investigations.com.
Okay, and your website?
And the website is www.sia-investigations.com.
Great.
And here, I might as well give you the 800 number. I can never
All right.
remember this, but the 800 number is 877-477-9480.
Okay, great. Well, Don, I appreciate you meeting with me today.
Sure,
And
my pleasure.
thank you for sharing your information.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.